DaCara Thompson's parents just want her home.
It's been hard. It's been hard.
Baby, let me tell you something. The story of what really happened to DaCara Thompson just keeps getting darker by the day. The details are so twisted it's enough to make your stomach turn. Right now, it feels like we may never know the full truth from the suspect, Go E.Z. Mendez. How did he even manage to lure DaCara into his vehicle? She had left her purse sitting in her own parked car. And get this, it was left in a no parking zone, which means she clearly wasn't planning on being gone long. She had even told her father she would be right back. When police pulled up, they found every single one of her belongings still inside the car. Her purse, her credit cards, her debit cards, even $60 cash. Now tell me why she would suddenly hop into another man's car without her essentials. None of it adds up. And here's what makes my blood run cold. Why on earth would Mendez bring a random girl back to his home, the very place where his own family lives, including children?
Still under investigation. It appears that DaCara willfully entered a vehicle being driven by Hugo Rene Hernandez Mendez, 35-year-old male out of Bowie, Maryland.
That is not normal behavior at all. If someone was really trying to hide shady activity, they'd usually book a hotel room somewhere away from their own name and address. But this man, he walked her straight into his family's house like it was nothing. Something about this whole thing stinks. It doesn't feel random at all. It feels planned. And the creepiest part? Reports are already circulating that investigators found women's underwear in Mendez's bedroom. What does that mean? Are we looking at a serial predator here? Did DaCara know this man before their encounter, or was she just another target? And most importantly, what in the world are the rest of his family members hiding, living under the same roof with him? The internet has already blown this case wide open, and the conversation is intense. Some people are even saying that unless a black life is taken by the hands of a white person, certain movements don't take it seriously. People online are saying the ugliest things, illegals don't count. That's why, according to them, nobody is really speaking loud about what happened to DaCara Thompson. And if that wasn't bad enough, social media got hit with disturbing rumors. Folks actually spreading theories that DaCara was out here selling herself.
Police came to the scene. We did discover that all of her personal belongings were in her car, such as her purse, her credit card, her debit cards. She even had $60 cash.
Can you imagine the disrespect? Now let's get into what really happened. By now, most of you already know the basics. DaCara was first reported missing by her father just before 9 p.m. on August 23rd. He told police the last time he saw his daughter was the night of August 22nd. When she didn't come back home, he called her phone. No answer. The last text he ever got from her was saying she was going to grab some gas and be right back. After that, silence. She never walked back through that door. On August 24th, the family used her phone's location. The final ping came from Jasmine Terrace and Riggs Road in Hyattsville. When they pulled up there, they saw her car just sitting. That's when they called police. See, DaCara was the youngest of 5 siblings, and they all had each other's locations shared on the Find My Phone app. But when they checked hers, it was already switched off. Last trace, same intersection. At first, the family tried to hold on to hope, but fear was setting in. Her bank account never moved. Not a dollar touched. Then came the worst day, August 31st. Around 4:50 p.m., Maryland State Police responded to a disabled car on Route 50 near the South River Bridge in Annapolis. When troopers looked over the embankment, about 30 feet down, they spotted a body. By September 3rd, detectives officially met with DaCara's family. They confirmed the heartbreaking truth. It was her. She had skull and facial fractures. Her family was only able to identify her through her tattoos and her jewelry. That's how bad the damage was. And here's where the case twists even more. Surveillance footage from August 23rd at exactly 3:06 a.m. showed DaCara leaving her white SUV. She walked away from Jasmine Terrace down Riggs Road, heading toward University Boulevard in Hyattsville. The surveillance footage tells a chilling story. It shows DaCara walking straight into the parking lot of a business on University Boulevard. She walks right up to the driver's side of a black GMC Yukon Denali, says something to the driver, then circles around and gets into the front passenger seat. That vehicle registered to none other than E.Z. Mendez of Cambridge Drive in Bowie, Maryland. But here's the part that just doesn't sit right. DaCara left her purse behind in her own car. And not just anywhere. Her car was parked in front of a fire hydrant at 3 a.m. Who does that? Who leaves their purse, credit cards, and even cash behind while stepping into another man's ride? Did she think she'd be back in minutes? Was she rushed? Or was she already way too comfortable with Mendez to even think twice? And don't forget, her phone's location tracker was suddenly turned off. Did she shut it off herself? Or did someone else handle that? The whole thing feels staged. Was this a planned meetup? Did she know Mendez personally? Or was she lured there by something darker? Every piece of this puzzle raises more questions than answers. By September 3rd, detectives finally moved in on Mendez. They pulled up to his home just before 9 p.m. And there it was, the same black SUV sitting outside his address. They wasted no time, filed for a search warrant, and got it approved. Then early the next morning, September 4th, they returned to serve it. But before they could even start, they spotted a man leaving the house and sliding into the driver's seat of that SUV. Questioned on the spot, Mendez allegedly claimed he had been at the Galaxy nightclub on University Boulevard in the early morning hours of August 23rd. After being spotted in that black SUV, Mendez tried to play slick with the cops. He told them he was supposed to meet his ex-girlfriend that night, but never actually did. When detectives pressed harder, he shut down, denied any role in DaCara's disappearance, and quickly asked for a lawyer. But what investigators uncovered next was straight out of a nightmare. Once the search warrant was executed, police found what they believe was DaCara's blood inside the house. And that wasn't all. They also discovered one of her missing French manicured nails, strands of hair, a wig, and more disturbing items tossed carelessly in the trash. On top of that, multiple pairs of women's underwear and lingerie were stashed in the bedroom. The scene screamed foul play. That was enough for authorities to lock him down. Hugo E. Mendez was officially arrested and charged with first and second-degree murder in the brutal death of 19-year-old DaCara Thompson. ICE even stepped in, labeling him a criminal illegal alien, and promised that justice would be served for her grieving family. But here's the most horrifying part. Investigators now believe DaCara was killed inside his bedroom in the early hours of August 23rd. They say he then loaded her body into his vehicle, drove out to Route 50 between Route 424 and Route 97 in Annapolis, and heartlessly dumped her over the short bridge into the river below. Think about that for a second. Someone calmly driving along the highway with her body in the car, then tossing her off a bridge like she was nothing. That kind of cold-blooded behavior is beyond disturbing. It's inhuman. And the creepiest detail? There were other people inside that house when all this went down. Police questioned them too. One relative admitted they lived there with their family, alongside cousins and 2 roommates. She told investigators she couldn't believe her own blood could do something so monstrous. But she also admitted that in the last 2 weeks, she barely saw Mendez, and his whole demeanor had changed. One cousin even told police she begged Mendez to confess. She revealed that during the investigation, her husband, Hernandez Mendez, and another relative were both hauled in for questioning. Out of the group, Hernandez was the only one who didn't walk free that night. The very next morning, federal immigration agents came storming back into the house, but this time, not for Hugo. They took her husband into custody instead. She swore up and down that her husband had nothing to do with the crime. She said he fully cooperated with detectives and had no ties to what Hugo allegedly did. She couldn't understand why her husband was suddenly facing an immigration case just because of his cousin's murder charges. Then came another shocking witness statement. A roommate confessed they overheard DaCara and Hugo having intercourse, followed by a disturbing grunting noise. They admitted it sounded like one person wasn't enjoying it at all. Hours later, when they stepped outside, the black GMC was gone. That detail stuck out immediately because everyone in the house knew Mendez rarely left on Saturdays, and his SUV was usually parked right in front. Meanwhile, 2 other witnesses claimed they couldn't say much about what happened that night. They insisted they live on the opposite side of the house and didn't know what went on in those early hours of August 23rd. The real question is, did the people in that house see more than they're admitting? Are they protecting Hugo out of family loyalty, fear, or just trying to save themselves? Between the cousin's shaky comments, the husband suddenly getting grabbed by immigration, and the roommate's chilling testimony, it feels like pieces of this puzzle are being hidden on purpose. And here's the kicker. This isn't Hugo's first run-in with the law. His history with police is already a cautionary tale all on its own. Before DaCara's name ever got tied to his, Hugo had been racking up charges like he thought he was untouchable. His rap sheet reads like a manual for recklessness. Start with the DUIs, not one but several. Then there was the open container situation, rolling around with bottles in the car like he was headed to some party cruise. That right there screams carelessness, but more importantly, it shows a dangerous pattern. Add in citations for operating a vehicle without due care, ignoring traffic signals, running stop signs, blowing red lights, and parking wherever he pleased. He was basically treating the streets like his own playground, and it doesn't stop there. Unsafe lane changes, reckless swerving, you name it. On top of that, he was even caught driving on a suspended license. Think about that. The state already told him sit down, and he still hopped behind the wheel like rules don't apply to him. Now here's what makes people furious. How was he still roaming around free with all these charges hanging over him? Especially since he was already flagged as undocumented. None of it adds up. Detectives are now digging deeper to figure out if DaCara actually knew Mendez before she vanished. But another question lingers heavy. Why would she leave her SUV parked in such an obvious spot, purse and all, right in front of a fire hydrant? Was she planning on being gone for only a few minutes? Did Hugo tell DaCara he'd bring her right back, or was she too distracted to realize the danger she was stepping into? Was this a kidnapping from the start, or did she willingly cut her phone's location before things went left? And what about his family? Are they keeping secrets, pretending they don't know more than they actually do? Because let's be real, this doesn't feel like the first time. People in the area are already whispering that Mendez could be tied to other disappearances, both men and women. And get this, just 2 days after DaCara was found, a father was discovered dead under suspicious circumstances. Locals are now wondering out loud, is there a bigger pattern here? And one detail makes it even creepier. Why was Hugo collecting women's underwear and lingerie like trophies? The community is now buzzing with fear. If Hugo really has a darker history, how many other families could still be waiting for answers? Detectives haven't confirmed those rumors yet, but the talk on the streets is relentless. People are pointing out the underwear stash, the wigs, the way he moved DaCara's body like it was nothing. All signs that this wasn't some first-time crime. What makes it worse is how bold he was about it, bringing DaCara into the same house where his family and roommates were sleeping. That takes either extreme arrogance or someone who's gotten away with shady things before. And if the whispers are true, that he could be tied to more disappearances, then this case might just be scratching the surface of something much bigger. Even investigators admit the puzzle pieces don't all line up yet. Was DaCara specifically targeted? Was she in the wrong place at the wrong time? Or was she just one of many victims in a pattern that authorities are only now starting to see? The unanswered questions are piling up, and each one makes this case even scarier. Now, the community isn't just scared. They're angry. People are demanding to know how a man with a whole record of DUIs, suspended licenses, and reckless charges was still roaming free in the first place. Neighbors are saying out loud what everyone is thinking. If the system had done its job earlier, maybe DaCara would still be here today. The outrage is pouring across social media, with hashtags calling for accountability and justice trending nonstop. Family and friends of DaCara are also speaking up. They can't wrap their heads around why her case didn't spark louder attention from national outlets, pointing out the ugly reality that some victims don't get the same media push unless race or immigration is involved. People are calling it selective outrage, saying DaCara's life mattered just as much as anyone else's, and her story deserves to be heard everywhere. Meanwhile, investigators are still tight-lipped about whether Hugo could be tied to other missing persons. But the public isn't waiting. Online forums are already linking unsolved disappearances to his name, piecing together timelines and suspicious similarities. Whether the police confirm it or not, the streets have already branded him as more than just a one-time killer. At the end of the day, what happened to DaCara Thompson is more than just a tragedy. It's a chilling reminder of how quickly a life can be stolen and how many questions can be left behind. A young woman who told her dad she'd be right back, a community now shaken to its core, and a suspect whose past and present paint a picture darker than anyone imagined. The unanswered questions still haunt this case. Did she know Hugo beforehand? Did his family see more than they're admitting? And the most terrifying thought, could there be other victims out there, tied to him in ways we don't even know yet? Every new detail makes this case heavier, and it's clear the story isn't finished. Justice for DaCara is only beginning. And now I want to hear from you. Do you believe Hugo acted alone? Or is this just one chapter in a bigger pattern that authorities haven't uncovered yet? Should his family be investigated more closely? Or are they innocent bystanders caught in the chaos? If you made it this far, sound off in the comments. What do you think really happened to DaCara? Make sure to like, share, and subscribe if you want more deep dives like this.